The automatic doors hiss behind Amara as she steps into the terminal. Rain smudges the glass outside, but inside, every polished floor tile echoes judgment in silence. "Next flight to New York," a gate agent murmurs. Eyes flicking away, Amara nods, adjusting her leather briefcase. She senses it before she sees it, the weight of watching. "Excuse me, ma'am," a young attendant says, voice low, almost hesitant. "Are you sure this is your seat?" Amara glances at him without anger. "Yes, it's mine." He swallows, caught between protocol and instinct. A man in a tailored uniform strides past. Captain Harris. He stops mid-step, his smile polite but brittle. "Ma'am, you're in first class?" "Yes," she says evenly, her tone quiet, measured. Not a challenge, just fact. He tilts his head, unsure whether to demand more. This isn't usual." Amara watches the rain streak the window behind him. Neither is progress. A hush settles over nearby passengers. Laptops close slowly. Phones slip into pockets. A child shifts in her seat, sensing tension older than herself. The gate agent clears her throat. "Boarding will start shortly." Captain Harris mutters something under his breath. "Seems odd," Amara doesn't answer. She doesn't have to. Every eye in the terminal carries the unsaid question, does she belong here? She moves toward the gate, each step deliberate. Her posture calm, controlled, a silent claim of space. He watches, uncertainty flickering across his face, the weight of authority already starting to tremble. She doesn't glance back. Rain drips from the terminal roof, sliding past reflections of faces that will remember this moment quietly, like a verdict whispered into history. Amara slides into the plush leather seat, setting her briefcase gently at her side. The cabin hums softly with the low whir of engines and murmured announcements. Captain Harris freezes in the aisle, hands brushing the strap of his uniform. "Ma'am, you're in the wrong seat." Her eyes lift slowly. Calm, measured. "I paid for this seat. It's mine." He swallows. I think there's been a mistake. First class? It's reserved." A flight attendant hovers, awkward, glancing at Amara, then back at the captain. "Sir, should we check?" He waves her off, voice tighter than before. No, it's fine." He hesitates, then mutters under his breath. "Just unusual." Amara notices the tremor in his fingers, the faint crease forming between his brows. "Unusual?" she asks softly. "Yes, people like you," he says, then stops, realizing the words carry more weight than he intended. Her gaze doesn't flinch. "People like me pay for what they deserve, just like anyone else." He shifts, uncomfortable, as a few passengers glance up, sensing the strain. Phones hover at laps, eyes darting. "No one speaks. Should I—" he begins, but his authority wavers. "Never mind." Amara leans back, hands folded neatly in her lap. "Good choice." The silence stretches, heavy but controlled. The pilot's posture stiffens, a command structure crumbling quietly before him. The cabin holds its collective breath. Not a word more is needed. Respect earned in stillness has been claimed. Amara's eyes drift to the window. Rain blurs the city below as if washing away old assumptions. He watches her powerless, realizing authority is more than a uniform. The flight attendants exchange glances, their whispers like wind through the cabin. She's really in first class," one murmurs, voice barely audible. "Yeah, should we—" The other hesitates, eyes on Amara. "Do nothing, just let it play out," the first says, biting her lip. Amara notices the tension but doesn't look up. Fingers trace the phone's edge, the screen off, her quiet authority radiating. Captain Harris leans against the galley wall, clearing his throat. I suppose boarding's complete?" "Yes," Amara replies softly. Her calm is measured, deliberate. He shifts his weight. It's unusual. Someone like—" "Well, never mind." A passenger peeks over a newspaper, eyes wide. Another fiddles with earbuds, pretending to adjust them. The silence thickens. "You really should check your records," Harris mutters. "I did. Twice," Amara says without lifting her gaze. "My reservation is valid." "My seat is valid." That's all there is to it. The pilot swallows, hands tightening around the aisle handle. I guess so." A flight attendant clears her throat, barely whispering, "Sir?" Passengers are watching. "Yes," he murmurs, voice lower. He glances at the phone in Amara's hands, uncertain. I need to..." Amara leans back slightly, almost imperceptibly, letting the pause speak for her. "You don't," she says quietly. Harris exhales, the faintest tremor in his jaw. Authority has begun to slip, not with argument, but with recognition. Around them, eyes shift. Not a cheer, not applause, just acknowledgement. They see the truth, even if unspoken. Amara doesn't look up. The weight of watching eyes solidifies her claim without a single shout. Control has shifted, quietly, irrevocably. Amara's fingers hover over the screen, then tap lightly. The email opens. Aeronix Board Communications, Executive Operations. Captain Harris leans closer, brow furrowed, eyes narrowing. What is that?" She doesn't answer immediately, letting him take in the words. A quiet pause stretches across the cabin. Passengers shift subtly, pretending not to notice, but curiosity hangs thick. The flight attendant whispers under her breath, "Sir, maybe you should..." Harris waves her off, voice tight. "No, I just need to..." Amara looks up, calm, measured. "You were wrong. This isn't a passenger issue. It's corporate. My seat is exactly where it belongs." He blinks, swallows. His fingers tighten around the aisle handle. I thought you thought what?" she asks softly. "That the uniform gives you the final word?" His mouth opens, closes. The polite smirk vanishes, replaced by disbelief. "I didn't what?" She presses gently. "Realize that authority isn't what makes someone right?" The cabin is still. Not a word from the other passengers. The hum of engines is louder than any voice. He glances around as if seeking allies. Everyone's eyes are elsewhere, polite avoidance covering shock. No one intervenes. Amara taps the screen once more. "This is who I am. This is my company. Your actions aren't just a mistake. They're an exposure." Harris exhales, hands dropping slowly. The authority he wielded crumbles silently. His jaw tightens, his breath shallow. He wanted control, but control has already slipped through his fingers. Amara leans back slightly, phone in hand. Her silence says everything. She isn't raising her voice. She doesn't need to. Power has already shifted. The boardroom hums with polite congratulations, the clapping slow, controlled. Amara sits at the head of the table. Shoulders straight, eyes calm. "Welcome aboard." "Miss Cole," a senior board member says, voice tight but formal. "Thank you," Amara replies. Not smiling, a man across the table clears his throat. "Your appointment is significant for our company and, well, for the industry." Amara leans back slightly. "Significant enough to change how we operate?" He blinks, uncertain. "Yes. I mean, we support the vision, of course." Another executive, older, with thin lips pressed together, mutters, "She's young, ambitious. It's unusual." Amara's gaze shifts to the glass walls reflecting the room. Faces she could trust are tense, lips tight, eyes flicking away. "Unusual doesn't mean unworthy," she says softly. A junior board member whispers, barely audible, "Do they really think she can handle it?" "I handle what I must," Amara responds, tone calm but precise. Her fingers trace the edge of her folder, composed, deliberate. The CEO Emeritus smiles politely, nodding. "We're looking forward to your leadership." "Yes, I look forward to working together." "All of us," Amara says, voice even. She doesn't need to raise it. The quiet authority in her phrasing cuts sharper than any critique. The room shifts subtly. Chairs creak as men adjust. Realizing her control isn't loud, it's inevitable. One executive swallows, muttering, "I suppose change isn't always easy." "Change is rarely gentle," Amara says, eyes meeting his. "But necessary." The applause dies down, leaving a tense quiet. Behind the smiles, behind the nods, every reflection shows unease. She wasn't supposed to rise this high, but she has silently, undeniably. A young HR assistant hovers near the office doorway, voice barely above a whisper. "Did you hear? The new CEO, she's, Don't say it out loud," an older colleague interrupts, eyes darting down the hall. "HR doesn't like rumors, and you know how they cover things up. She's just a diversity hire, that's all, another mutters from the elevator bank, smirking. Big title, small substance. Amara walks past the glass walls, seeing their reflections. Smiles are forced, polite nods masking disdain. She pauses, letting the weight of their whispers settle around her. In the break room, two pilots exchange a quiet joke, one elbowing the other. So, the quota face is running the airline now? The other laughs, but it's hollow. Yeah, can you imagine the budget meetings? The board must be having heart attacks. A senior HR officer types a memo, shaking her head slightly. We'll dismiss her earlier complaints, make sure it's archived. No one will notice? Amara steps into the corridor, phone in hand. Miss Cole, I need you to stand. This isn't, she raises a hand, stopping him. I'm not moving, but everyone here will know what's happening. All of it. A man in the aisle fumbles with his phone, eyes darting around. Did she just record this? She didn't, Amara murmurs. They did, the pilot's face tightens. This is inappropriate. You can't what? She interrupts gently. You've ignored complaints for years. Now the world sees. No one's silenced anymore. The flight attendant glances at passengers. Several phones rise discreetly. Whispers ripple, careful but unmistakable. Harris swallows, realizing the authority he wielded so easily is cracking. You're making a scene. Amara leans back, composed. I'm making history. Some lessons take time to reach the sky. Others just need witnesses. The plane hums steadily, turbulence beneath unnoticed. Around them, eyes record, hearts shift. The silence he relied on has evaporated, leaving truth in its wake. He steps back, powerless, hands loosening on the controls, every past dismissal now visible to an audience he can't command. The cabin exhales as one. Amara taps her folder, eyes forward. It's not about authority. It's about accountability. A reporter clears his throat, voice low but sharp. Miss Cole, why didn't you identify yourself sooner? Amara's gaze sweeps the room, calm but unyielding. Because no woman should need a title to be treated with respect. Murmurs ripple. Flashbulbs pop. A few faces blanch. She doesn't flinch. Another reporter leans in. But surely you could have prevented the incident yourself. The pilot, I didn't prevent it, she interrupts softly, voice steady. I chose to respond in a way that mattered. A cameraman fidgets. Some are saying this is retaliation. She tilts her head, eyes locked on the pilot in the corner. If accountability feels like retaliation to you, then maybe the rules were written for the wrong people. The pilot shifts in his seat, palms tightening. He opens his mouth, closes it again. Words fail him. A voice from the back murmurs, so he was wrong. All along? Amara doesn't need to answer. The room understands. Cameras continue snapping, but the weight of her composure speaks louder than any flash. A junior board member whispers to a colleague. We underestimated her completely. Amara lets her silence linger. Every second stretches, showing the power in restraint. The flight attendant who witnessed the confrontation nods subtly from the side. She did it quietly, perfectly. The pilot's jaw tightens. His authority, once absolute, erodes without a sound. Amara closes her folder slowly, letting the moment breathe. Justice doesn't always roar, she murmurs. Sometimes it simply waits for truth to be seen. The room exhales collectively. Cameras click. The pilot looks away, finally meeting no one's gaze. Silence at last takes the stand. The screen flickers. His voice echoes through the hall. This is a misunderstanding. She's overreacting. A reporter whispers into a mic, barely audible. Overreacting? Did you hear that tone? Amara leans back, calm, eyes steady. Some mistakes aren't misunderstandings. They're choices. The pilot shifts in his chair, palms clenching the armrests. I was just following protocol. A board member murmurs, protocol doesn't excuse arrogance. Another reporter leans forward. Sir, you've been recorded instructing ground control to remove a passenger unjustly. Your tone is aggressive. Can you explain? His smile falters. He opens his mouth, closes it. Words fail. Amara's voice cuts through. You mistook authority for ownership. There's a difference. The pilot exhales sharply, fingers trembling. I I didn't mean intent matters less than impact, Amara interrupts softly. You built a career on silence and fear. Silence is watching now. Fear is witnessing truth. A flight attendant in the back whispers to a colleague. He's unraveling. Quietly, the board chair clears his throat. Effective immediately, Captain. Your command is suspended. Review pending. The room is still. No applause. Just quiet acknowledgement. Cameras continue clicking, but the gravity is heavier than any flash. Amara steps closer to the podium, eyes on him. The skies you ruled are now just air. Air that carries every lie, every dismissal, every whisper you silenced. And they're all exposed. He lowers his gaze. The certainty that once defined him evaporates, leaving only the weight of realization. The reporters shift in unison, sensing the pivot. Power dies quietly here. Not with confrontation, not with shouting, but with a nod, a pause, and the world finally watching. He sits on the edge of the couch, phone buzzing beside him. He doesn't reach for it. A text notification flashes. Can we meet? It's been a while. He swipes it away without reading. His sister's voice echoes from the hallway. You've been quiet for days. Are you okay? I'm fine, he mutters, eyes glued to a photo on the table. A picture of a flight he once led. Passengers laughing, crew smiling. It feels like someone else's life? Fine? She steps closer, noticing the tremor in his hands. You haven't answered a single call. Your friends, they're worried. He lets out a shaky laugh. They weren't worried when I needed them. They were part of the problem, she pauses. You're not the same person anymore, and maybe that's not entirely your fault. He doesn't respond. The silence fills the room heavier than words. A newspaper sits on the coffee table, headlines screaming, Airline CEO breaks barriers, pilot suspended. He stares at it, mouth dry. Do you even remember why you loved flying? She asks softly. He touches the faded edges of a boarding pass. I remember when it was just about the sky, not all the politics. The house feels smaller, walls leaning in. Each photo, each document, each unread message is a mirror of lost authority. Maybe it's time to face it, she whispers. Your pride didn't just fade. It was taken from you by the choices you made and the ones you ignored. He closes his eyes, a long pause, then nods slightly. Not to her, not fully, but to himself. The silence isn't peace. It's a reckoning, and for the first time he hears it clearly. Amara adjusts her seatbelt, glancing at the elderly woman beside her. You remind me of someone powerful, the woman says softly, eyes gentle. Amara's lips curve into a quiet smile. Power is often quieter than people think, the woman chuckles, nodding. It's true. Most don't see it until it's in front of them. A pause stretches between them. Outside, clouds drift lazily, sunlight breaking through in scattered beams. Are you, always calm like this? The woman asks. Amara tilts her head, looking out the window. I've learned that yelling doesn't always move the world. Sometimes, it's enough to hold your ground without raising your voice. The woman's eyes widen slightly. I've seen it before, yes, but not so deliberate. There's dignity in your silence. I've learned to listen first, Amara murmurs, fingers tracing the edge of her phone. Of course.